maybe a couple months. Let's go ahead and get her out of her hibernation and get her ready to participate in this little race series.
All right. Well, I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest.
The nice thing about getting a time slip racing at a quarter mile is it has everything on there. It's got your 1/8 mile, 1,000 foot, quarter mile, and your mile per hour. So it looks like this first race is going to be at Willow Springs, and the guys are saying that it's a 1,000 foot track.
'Cause the devil's on my trail. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh yeah, I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh no, it ain't easy, darling, when the devil's on my trail. Oh yeah.
Alright, so we got a problem. I got on it on the freeway pretty hard, and it was given a hellacious vibration. The only things that really have changed is the gear set, which I don't really think is the issue. The most likely culprit is the wheels and tires. Maybe I lost the balance or something like that. So I'm gonna pull the wheels off the back of the car, and the only thing that I really have, because one of the rules is it has to be hard tire, but I think I've got some good tires on the back of the 72 Charger. Yeah, we got some pretty good meat. These are 245/60 15s. The tires on the car now were nice, pretty wide Mickey Thompsons, but they are super old. Well, now that I got a wheel off the Charger and I have it out in the sunlight, it's not in that good a shape after all. It looks pretty dry rot. Well, it is what it is. I can't afford to buy another set of tires right now, so we're just gonna have to roll with those. See if the vibration goes away. Well, unfortunately, that's a lot less tire. It is what it is. You know what's a trip is, this is the tire that was kind of cracked up. This was the tire I looked at, and I decided to take them off the Charger. And I thought they looked pretty good. Well, it turns out this one's a newer tire. It's not all cracked up. So I just don't remember. It's been so long. Maybe this tire went flat and I replaced it, but I didn't bother replacing the other side. So that one's a little dry rot. This one's in pretty good shape. I'm gonna leave the hubcaps off because I think usually when you go through tech, they want the hubcaps off so they could check that all the lug nuts are in place. It's one of the requirements before they let you on the track. Go ahead and pop them off. We'll roll all steel when we get out there. I guess it'll make it look a little more sinister. You know, maybe Doorthy will put a little more intimidation factor with just steelies and no hubcaps. By the way, don't forget to buy a Desperado t-shirt. It helps with the cause. Link in the description below. Well, today's the day. We're headed off to Willow Springs. We're bringing Doorthy to go up against some other YouTubers and their cars. Yeah, and we'll see how she does, how she stacks up against the competition. So everybody's pretty much got some street cars. You know, they're not full-on race cars. So it should be pretty interesting. What I'm hoping we prove in this video is that given the constraints we have, which is basically hard tire, that Doorthy, being a pretty much mild street car, is able to compete with everybody else in the group. Jeremy's gonna have big block stroker. He's gonna be making tons of horsepower. So he's gonna be way faster than Doorthy, or making way more power than Doorthy. But given that we have to run hard street tires, it's possible, I'm hoping, that Doorthy is actually pretty competitive against him, because I don't think this car is gonna have problems hooking up like he's gonna have. So coming out of the hole is gonna be our greatest advantage. I think that's where Jeremy's gonna have to leave very lightly, or he's gonna spin. And then the question is can he come around us? Willow Springs is basically a road course, and they take their longest section and basically make a drag strip out of it. It's only 1,000 feet. That's probably enough time and distance for Jeremy to actually catch us and go around us. So we'll see what happens. No bolts left behind, and his 70 Challenger with a 5.7 Hemi is going to be super fast. I think in the 8th mile he's running low 8s. So what I'm not sure about is if he was running street slicks or if he's running slicks, and if he's ran it with hard tires yet. So if he hasn't ran with hard tires yet, we might have a chance, you know, because I think he's making pretty good horsepower as well. He's pretty quick. So again, we're going to have to get him out of the hole as fast as possible, and he's probably going to end up coming around us. His car's pretty well proven. Unfortunately, Night Wrencher wasn't able to get his Challenger together. I think given his combination, it would be pretty close to being matched with Doorthy, although the Challenger he's starting with is a pretty gutted car, so he's probably going to have a pretty large weight advantage. That would have been interesting to see how that played out, but we'll have to figure that out next time. And then Ray's from Pontiac Ray's Garage. His Firebird, it's got a very small Pontiac motor in it. I think it's actually fairly closely matched to Doorthy as well, also running a tall gear. So that ought to be an interesting race, although I think his motor's maybe a little more hopped up than Doorthy's. So there's a good chance that he's probably going to beat us, because I don't think he's going to make crazy horsepower and have the traction issues, but I think he's going to make more horsepower than Doorthy. So we'll see how that plays out. So some of the challenges that Doorthy's going to have is probably the biggest challenges is she's going to have a pretty hefty driver in the car weighing her down. Now she's pretty much a full-bodied car, full interior. There's no weight savings on the car other than the water pump housing, which is aluminum, but we don't have any fiberglass parts on her. She's all got her full body weight, and she's running steel rims on it, so she's going to be a little bit on the hefty side. However, given that, you know, I did weigh Doorthy before, and she actually, for a 4-door, which has a lot more weight stuff going on, you know, the frame around the door, regulators, glass, all that stuff, these Belvederes are actually fairly light. This one in particular weighed in at about 3,400 pounds. So even though she's a 4-door and she's got all her body panels and everything, and she's basically a full weight car with a big block, that's not too bad for a car to take to the drag strip, you know, and go play with. I mean, that's not race car weight, but that's good. That's a light car. And here we're on street tires. We're limited to hard street tires, so I got some BFGs on here, 245/60 15s. The car still vibrates, but it's like normal vibration now versus this violent vibration, so I think we got that fixed. But going around corners and stuff, she was definitely squealing the tires, so I'm a little unsure if she's going to get very good traction, but we'll find out. In terms of making power, she's basically a mild build. This whole engine, this whole car has been basically made up of donated parts that from friends that, you know, just had extra spare parts laying around. They donated it to the cause, so there's no high-end expensive parts. She's running a flat tappet hydraulic camshaft. It's a purple shaft cam. I think it's around a 480 lift ish. I just took micrometers to it, or calipers to it, to measure it, so I wouldn't say I accurately measured it, but give you a rough idea. She sounds really good. She's got some Schumacher headers. They're basically small tube shorty headers. or I should say like mid-length headers. These headers, I mean, if you're running a street car and you're not trying to maximize horsepower, these headers are awesome. You can actually get to the starter down there. There's a lot of room around these headers compared to most of your long tube headers. So, but that might be something that we have to change down the road to try to squeeze a little more horsepower out of this thing. We got this Holley Street Dominator intake manifolds, old school. A lot of the guys that know the old school stuff say this intake manifold is awesome, so that's good. We got a Carter AFB on it. We got a nitrous plate, but none of the nitrous is hooked up. When we were gonna race Jeremy, we were gonna run nitrous on it, but just ended up running out of time. So that'll be something for down the road. And we got an MSD ignition system. The distributor is locked out, so it's set to 34 degrees, I think, right now. Yeah, that's about it. It's all stock valve train, iron heads, you know, nothing exotic really going on at all. So she's probably, out of the range of cars that are going to this event and racing in this, she's probably on the slow end of the range. She's probably going to be the slowest car there. So she's going to have to fight her way through the ranks to try to beat anybody and everybody. So we'll see what this cheap street car can do. Here we are, Willow Springs.
You've arrived at your destination.
Challenge.
Separate?
How many total runs for each couple?
We're going to be doing 2 out of 3. So best 2 out of 3. So if the first guy wins one, the second guy wins the second one, it'll go to round 3. The winner of the round gets the total maximum points. I believe it's 3 points. The loser of the round will get 1 point, and then we're just going to keep moving it up as we go. Someone's making a lot of noise.
Keep it down.
Yeah.
It's a Mopar. It's all right.
It's another Mopar.
Is it a Mopar?
It is a Mopar.
Oh, no wonder. Typical. Yeah, so we're going to be running a best 2 out of 3. First up was going to be Jonny Mopar and Pontiac Ray.
That's how it was.
It was supposed to be me. So my car didn't make it out. Pontiac Ray took my place. We switched. But now all of a sudden they don't want to go first. But we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, you're wrong.
And remember, this is all on street tire, so there's no slicks in any of this. So power doesn't really matter. It's more like how well are you able to control your tires.
Yeah, it's more driver versus driver than it is car versus car. The faster you can get a handle of your car, the better you're going to do. So even if you got 1,000 horsepower, if you spin at the beginning and you can't recover and put it back down the track, you're not going to win the race. So we're doing this not necessarily because we don't want to. We're doing this not because we want to exclude anybody, but we really want to keep this like street car centered, because that's really what it's about. It's a bunch of street cars racing each other. It's not a bunch of race cars, Pontiac Ray, racing each other.
I'm not the one with the roll bar.
That's true. It's the other car.
Yeah. Sorry.
Jeremy.
I've got one at home with a roll bar. This one doesn't
We can do
have.
roll bar versus roll bar later on slicks.
We are.
Pretty good.
We are not racing on street tires because it is easy. We are racing on street tires because it is hard.
No, because it was voted on.
Because it was voted on.
Because it is hard. I agree.
Vote.
And this track is 1,000 feet?
This track is 1,000 feet. Yeah, so this is
Halfway between an eighth and a quarter mile.
yeah,
I
halfway.
get that a lot in my videos. Why are you racing an eighth mile? You went way too fast for an eighth mile. Or why was your trap speed so low on a quarter mile?
We can just keep calling it an eighth so we can impress people. Like, really? 100 miles an hour in the eighth, huh?
Yeah.
And it is street style.
It is street
No
style.
prep.
Technically no prep.
Yeah, burnout 1,000 feet away from the starting line.
No burnouts.
I mean, you have the option to. My car
Get water off.
couldn't do a burnout, so I just walked through the puddle. And
There's no water over
There's
there.
no water, yeah.
Oh, no water? Oh,
there's
cool.
no water? Just
No, you just do a burnout because it's cool.
Yeah.
I thought they were doing water. No?
I didn't see
never
water
seen
on any of the
Really?
videos. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that helps street tire, I guess.
guess not. Okay. What are we gonna say? 1, 2, 3, what? Mopar?
Pontiac
1, 2, 3,
Ray's
Mopar!
garage.
Mopar! Who's that Butler Performance employee? Ben.
Hopefully in a couple of years.
A years? Oh, we gotta get that thing running and driving in a month.
We're signing bet agreements, right?
His car's.
$1 to the winner.
That's right. His car is more together than mine is.
That's true, but he wants it painted, straight, all that stuff.
All right, I'm Jonny Mopar. My YouTube channel is Jonny Mopar. This is a 66 Plymouth Belvedere we call Doorthy. She's got a 383, mild 383, 727 automatic, 8 3/4 rear end, running tall gears right now. It's got 276 gears, peg leg, so it's gonna be slow out of the hole, and we'll see what it does. I'm racing Pontiac Ray over there. I think he's gonna beat me, but I hope he doesn't, and I hope I spank him, so we'll see what happens.
What do you think he's gonna win?
I just think Doorthy is so mild that she's the slowest car here. That's what I think. She doesn't have anything special going on. You know, pretty much just basic hot rod, street rod type stuff you're gonna have on a street car. There's not a lot of race stuff, and there's no lightweight anything on the car at the moment.
All right, so who are you and what do you drive?
I am Pontiac Ray's garage. Please check me out on YouTube. I'm driving my 67 Firebird today. It's actually my high school car, and it's got a little 350 Pontiac in it.
And you're here at the YouTuber Street Drags. Who's gonna be your first opponent?
So yeah, I'll be racing Jonny Mopar today. He's gonna be my competitor. He's got a 383 65 Belvedere, and he's pretty fast. Hopefully I can, do good against him.
Now, the way you said that last sentence, tell me, what's your honest opinion of the car? I know you have a 350 Pontiac. I know he runs a 383 Mopar, big block. But really, who do you think is going to be the clear winner here?
Yeah, I'll probably donkey stomp him, but it's okay.
I'm gonna check on Ray.
What's up?
I'm gonna check on Ray. Did you see what happened to him?
Yeah, I know Doorthy spun a lot, so.
Oh yeah, Doorthy. I don't know. They were like neck and neck, and then Doorthy just came by and just went around him at the end.
Went around him?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll show you the video.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see him run.
What happened?
I don't know. I have to check it. I have to get it on the trailer and just look underneath it, see what happened.
Okay.
Nothing obvious so far, so.
All right, I'll see you at the
Yeah,
pits.
yeah.
Fun.
You won, but what happened out there?
Well, he started spinning, I started spinning, and then he started smoking, and then I went around him. But yeah, no traction. And I think he's got an O-ring leaking on his transmission fill tube. We'll see.
All right, I'll see you at the pits.
All right.
So I think what happened is, thanks to Jonny Mopar mentioning my dipstick, yeah, and I can pull it right out with no effort, which is great. So I think the grommet down there on the Turbo 400 broke, and obviously I don't have a grommet in my pocket, so I'm gonna take a look, see if I can pull it out. Maybe Johnny has some O-rings to help out, but I gotta let it cool because it's really hot right there. So Johnny's gonna give me a few minutes to take a look at it, and if I can get it together, we'll run. If I can't, I'll forfeit gladly because he beat me on that race. And
All right, Jonny Mopar, what are you gonna do now?
I'm gonna help Ray put his car on the trailer and send him home. And then I'm gonna drink a Gatorade and relax.
I know
No.
we're doing 2 out of 3, so you got another pass coming up. What are you gonna do?
I'm not making any changes to the car. I'm gonna try to just leave less of the on the throttle. So I was giving a little bit of a power brake and launched, and it just lit the right rear tire up. It's an open rear end, so yeah, it just smoked the tire. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try to leave softer.
You want to switch
What
sides?
tire pressure are you running right now?
25 pounds on the back. There's street tires, so yeah.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
went back up.
Yeah.
So then what are you gonna do?
So I'm gonna give it to Jonny Mopar. He earned it. That's it. I can't fix it. Yeah,
That's all she wrote?
that's all she wrote.
One and done.
Yeah, and so he has tranny fluid, which I was going to use to fix it and all that. I just can't keep that dipstick tube down firm enough to make the O-ring work. You know, like it needs a grommet to secure it, and then the bracket just kind of stabilizes it. But without that, the O-ring has to be pushed down, and it's not going to work.
Gotcha.
Because there's a flange. So I know it's
Yeah, shit happens.
It's a few dollar part, right?
Yeah. It happened at the gate, round 1. Doorthy smokes the tires, or I should say the tire, right rear tire started just spinning like crazy. Doesn't help, it's an open rear end, but even with a sure grip, I don't think it would have hooked. Maybe it's the BFGs, they just do not stick to the ground at all. But yeah, she had 0 traction right off the bat. So the next surprise was Race Pontiac. Obviously way faster than I had anticipated. I got him out of the hole, even though Doorthy's spinning the tires, but he quickly went around me, clearly had me. If it wasn't for his transmission, you know, throwing up a smoke screen and him lifting, he would have had that. But so I don't know who the El Camino guy is. It was just random. After I raced Ray and he couldn't race anymore, I just jumped back in line so I can get another pass. I did try to play with how I launched, so I wasn't launching as hard. It did help. I got my ET from 13.77 down to 13.39.
I am No Bolts Left Behind, aka Barry. I actually flipped those two. I am Barry, aka No Bolts Left Behind. And I drive the orange 1970 Challenger over there.
All right, so we've got a 2-0 win right here.
Yep.
We've got a 1-0 win right here.
Yep.
I think it's fitting that the 2 winners should race each other.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
He's got to give me a car length, I think, though.
I don't know. I don't know what times you ran. The board's not working, so none of us know what times you ran except for you guys.
Well, according to this, I'm running a 15-second quarter mile, so I don't know.
I don't. What was the
It's
count?
like 16.
Yeah. All right.
16?
I think the math is off. I think
Okay,
they're
so we
a
have
little
a
bit quicker.
choice. If you guys run again together, you'll end up getting more. Well, the winner will end up getting a decent amount of points.
He shot out of there
Or
like he was shot
You
out
have to
of
be
a 45
determined.
Or we switch gears and Jonny Mopar races the Challenger.
Easy win over the GT500 aspirated.
I think that'd be good.
engine. That battery
Not to
power.
say, like, you don't have a chance, but most likely wouldn't win. So, because I think, I mean, technically we should do best out of 3, right? If the 2 winners from the 2 groups go in. I'm definitely down. I don't know run. But it might be a closer race if you race the Challenger.
I bet the exhibition so that there's no gathering of points
So
unnecessarily.
what we can do is
Try to get as
actually
much as
No Bolts is here now. So what do you think? Should we get both winners to line up right now, which are these 2 guys right here?
Exhibition only, not the
Or
points.
should we just mix it up and go Jonny Mopar versus No Bolts?
I'm down to race, and I'm down either way.
Okay.
I think that
Hey, once again, the far right lane.
he's
How
fast.
bad did he beat you?
He's fast, so that would be worrying. But I mean,
2 or 3 car lengths.
the last one was a 3 car lengths. Yeah.
Well, I don't. But I think you're gonna probably get me by 3 car lengths.
Which is why you should race me for points. Give me,
I mean,
I'm down either way.
because what we can do, so that way you don't fall behind in points, we'll just have you run first at the next one.
Yeah, I'll go first on the next one.
I think you'll get your second round in the next one. Sounds good. All right, we're going to do Jonny Mopar, No Bolts.
is that what we're doing?
All right,
Down?
yeah. You down?
Yeah.
You down?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Do you guys just want to hot lap it? Just hot lap it 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, and then it's over?
Yeah. I mean, moving pretty slow, so I would say we should get back in lane. Or
Yeah.
it's up to you. Do you need to cool off?
Left lane win.
Kind of have time, I guess. It's only 9. So
It goes up to 10?
11.
11?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't paid attention to the temperature when I get back, so I don't know. Let's hot lap it. Let's do a hot lap, and then 3rd round we'll come in for a break.
After you guys finish each lap, I'll catch up with you guys, and if we see issues, we'll stop.
Yeah.
If not,
And
then
if you beat me with the 2 rounds, then we're
That's
done.
it.
Yeah, then we're done.
All right.
If we tie it off, then we'll cool off a little bit, and then we'll go again.
all right, No Bolts versus Jonny Mopar. Let's go.
All right.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
how do you think this is going to go down?
I think Jonny Mopar has a good chance because he kicked my ass, but I'm picking No Bolts.
Okay. All right, what's your honest opinion of this upcoming race?
I think Johnny's going to launch on him, and if he can launch well enough, he might still be able to be ahead at the end. I'm banking on No Bolts having traction issues.
Okay, that's fair.
Thanks, man.
You got this, Jonny. You got it. Good luck. Good luck.
Round 3, I went up against No Bolts Left Behind, and it was my best pass as far as leaving. I had very light throttle while I was holding the brake pedal, and then I just laid into it nice and easy. That was a 13.2 ET. So I was able to tree him, which was good. It helped. And also getting a nice even launch without spinning the tire. I don't think it'd spin the tire that much, but having to leave that light, you basically left a bunch of power on the table. But at any rate, that pass was a 13.2 second ET at the 1,000-foot mark at 81.2 miles per hour.
Yeah, so in your own words, how did these last races go out?
So that car is faster than I thought it was. He got me out of the hole in the first one. I had some traction problems and he got out in front of me, and I was a little worried, and I had to reel him in and I had to struggle for it. But I got him at the maybe half track or like 2/3 track, and then the next.
So round 4, no bolts left behind, and I hot lapped it. We basically made a loop around, jumped back on the track, and went at it again. This time he wasn't asleep at the light, so he had a much better reaction time this time around. And I was a little too aggressive on the throttle, so my ET wasn't very good.
And then the next one, I just hit it right. Sometimes you just shift right, and I got good traction, and I got it by a few cars. So that thing surprised me. I think you should watch out. I think if I were you, I'd be worried about that one.
Well, you have to remember that my car's got a very similar 383 with a tighter gear ratio, but it's a stick shift like yours. How do you think my car would match up with your car?
Your car and my car? I don't know. That's a good point. You're probably lighter than him, right? I think
I'm probably lighter than you too.
You will be, because your interior will be minimal. So I think it'll be close between us, because that thing surprised me, and he's, I don't know, what's his weight?
It's probably pretty heavy. It's full interior.
Yeah. So if you're lighter than me and with that engine, I'm a little worried. Are you gonna have your posse?
Well, I don't know. Actually, that's a good question.
If you have your 8.8 in there, I'm worried.
If I have the 8.8 in there, that'll be a 373 gear or a 410, whatever I can find.
So then I'll be worried.
So jumping back to Jonny Mopar, he claims that the reason that he wasn't able to beat you was because he didn't have slicks. If he would have had slicks, he would have beat you. What do you think about that?
I mean, if he had slicks and I didn't have slicks?
Yes.
I got him by a good bit on that last one, but I feel like he gets out of the hole pretty quick. So if I don't have slicks and he does have slicks, I think it'll be close. He might beat me.
But what if you're both on slicks, then what?
I think it would play out the same way it played out. I mean, I guess, because I have major traction problems. I would say maybe more than him, because my stick shift. Well, I don't know. I don't know how this racing works. I'm winging it, man.
So the next race that these guys want to go is Verona in 2 weeks, and they want to do all slicks for everybody. What do you think about that?
Is a slick the same as a drag radial?
I don't know, but let's say it is.
Because I only have drag radials, so.
Let's say we're all doing drag radials.
Yeah, I'm down. I think that it'll play out the same. Okay. If I race Jonny Mopar.
I don't know, because he says that he won't be able to get his traction situation handled unless he has slicks or drag radials.
I had a major traction situation too. I don't know if he knows how much traction problems I had, but I had big problems. So I think that it'll be similar. I don't think he was spinning more than me. I would wager that I was spinning more than him. Sort of suck was spinning, so he's going to get faster significantly with slicks. But Doorthy, I think we'll still be even, because I think we're gonna right now our traction's like down here. We're gonna go up to here, I think, okay. But we're gonna be even still.
So if he says drag radial versus drag radial at the next event, are you down?
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down.
Let's do it.
I think the last round was a little bit better than this one, but
Yeah, I just rolled into the throttle, so I think it did a lot better. But this last round, I could hear it spin right out of the gate.
What do you think the flaw is? It's just the fact that it doesn't
Slicks.
have...
No slicks. That's the flaw.
I don't know. Do you think it's the fact that you don't have a shirt grip though?
Nah. It might help a little bit, but it's basically you're still making too much power. I think a new rule. The slowest car gets to use slicks next time out.
That's a game changer.
Yeah, right?
That would be Ray.
It would be. It would be.
I don't know.
But
You can vote on it. Slowest car is allowed to run slicks.
that'd be kind of cool because then he would run faster in theory next time out, and then he would
have to slow back down.
You'd have to slow back down, then the next slowest guy would get to run slick. So then like a slow car like this might actually take No Bolts or Jeremy. Possibly. Anyway,
We can vote on it.
yeah, I mean, it's a thought.
Thought. Yeah. Consider it.
All right. All right, you guys want to ride? You want to?
Yeah, I'll take a ride.
You want to just jump on the hood, or you want to get inside?
I'll get inside.
All right. Oh, I just hit myself. Man, if I could put you guys in the back seat, I might actually get some traction.
So I was supposed to race Jeremy, but somehow a couple of cars got in between us when we were coming back to get in line to race, and ended up next to a Javelin. Unfortunately, on that pass, I had this happen before at Duck Tape where the car basically vapor locked on me. So, I mean, I don't think the car was overheating, but it was getting hot. I had done the hot lap with No Bolts Left Behind, and I kind of thought towards the end of the night, I didn't really hear the fans coming on. So the temperature was just above 190. I think they should have been on, but it's kind of right at the cusp. So I wasn't sure if the engine just wasn't hot enough for the fans to come on, or if it wasn't hot enough to trigger them. So that's something we're gonna have to look at, make sure that the fans come on, and address the vapor lock. So I'm not sure if the fuel line is just too close to the engine somewhere and it's getting hot and vapor locking in the fuel line, or if the problem is the carb is getting hot and then it's boiling. So I've had that happen before. We have that aluminum nitrous plate that's between the carburetor and the intake manifold, so heat can still transfer through it. In the past, I ran a phenolic carb spacer, and that does a pretty good job of keeping the carburetor cool enough so the fuel doesn't boil off. So I might look into doing something like that too, so we don't get this happening again.
Time? That one was kind of jacked up. It was running, I think 13.2 was the best, but it's on.
We should run. I've only run once and I would have went 12.4.
Oh, did it? Oh, yeah, you're going way faster than me.
Surprising, it went pretty quick.
Are you running slicks?
No.
No? Okay.
I'll burn out, I'll do anything.
Yeah, neither do I. This last pass, I don't know if it's vapor locking or something, like cut out on me.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What motor you got?
It's a 3-3.
Okay, I got a 440 now.
Okay, cool.
Here.
It's 276s. Anyway, 276
Who would expect to see so many Mopars? That was pretty awesome. There was a ton of Mopars there. I saw a Demon, I saw a Barracuda, I saw a Duster or two, a Dart, like a 71 or 2 Dart, plus the Mopars that we came with, you know, No Bolt's Challenger and Jeremy's Duster and Doorthy. But how cool was that? There was actually another 66 Belvedere there, station wagon. Met Chris, cool guy, very cool car. It's got a 440 in it. It looks gorgeous under the hood and on the inside. It's patinaed on the outside. Very cool ride. Didn't have a chance against him. You know, that 440 just basically cleaned Doorthy's clock. It was a great time, had a lot of fun, had some fun making some passes. Wish the car would have hooked up a lot better, but you know, it is what it is. So it just tells us we gotta make some adjustments and go back out there and do better. So much for proving that a mild street car can actually compete with the rest of these guys. With the traction issues that Doorthy had, it was just like, you know, she left so much on the table, and then she was just way outgunned as far as power and from everybody else. So the last 3/4 of the track, she basically just drove around, you know. And I know we were all suffering from traction issues, but I think she definitely was suffering the most. You know, I want to make one change at a time, but the traction issues are so bad with the constraint of having to run a hard tire. It's like, I really need to go to a Sure Grip. I need a better tire than the BFGs without going to street slicks or slicks. And probably a set of Caltrack bars will make a big improvement as far as getting the car to hook. All of those are not cheap options. And in fact, I'm probably gonna need to do all 3 just to get the car to have a decent bite coming out of the hole. So just looking at the data, using my 1,000-foot time at Duct Tape Drags, as a comparison to the Willow Springs data, the best ET I got, or using the best ET I got at Willow Springs, the car still went 0.77 seconds slower. And then the worst case scenario, the worst ET I got, the car went over 2 seconds slower. So traction is definitely a huge issue. I think for now we're gonna have to just focus on traction. You know, it doesn't make sense to go after horsepower. Right now it's gonna cost probably more money than traction. And you know, as nice as it would be to basically keep up with those guys when those guys are, you know, basically making their power on the big end. But you know, if you're leaving 2 seconds on the table out of the hole, it's like, what's the point of throwing another, you know, even if I made another 100 horsepower, it's like, it's just gonna spin even harder. So we gotta go after the traction front and foremost. And there's no way I can, you know, muster up enough money to do the Sure Grip, better tire, and Caltrack bars all in one shot. So sticking to the idea of doing one at a time. I think it's also going to be interesting to see how much of an improvement each one of those aspects makes. So yeah, so stay tuned for the next round, and I'm hoping we have some sort of change that we could test out and see how much better or how much ET we can shave off of it.